Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've spent literally any time playing around with AI tools lately, you've probably figured out something pretty quickly. Getting really great results, it kind of feels like rolling the dice, right? I mean, sometimes you get this brilliant, mind-blowing response, and other times you get something so generic, so boring, or just flat out wrong that you start to wonder if the machine even understands English or if it just fell asleep at the wheel. Well, today we are going to fix that for sure. I'm going to share a secret formula, a completely non-technical framework that'll help you stop getting those generic responses and start getting incredible, highly tailored results every single time.
Here's our quick roadmap for today's masterclass. First, we'll meet your new AI intern. Second, we'll dive into the perfect prompt recipe. Third, we'll cover the core principles of prompting. And finally, we'll wrap up with the iterative conversation. And trust me, you absolutely do not need a computer science degree for any of this.
All right, section 1, meet your new AI intern. Okay, so let's dive right in. Whenever we think about AI, we usually picture glowing neon lights, floating code, maybe some hackers typing furiously in a dark room. It makes dealing with AI seem deeply, almost intimidatingly technical. But we're going to completely subvert that imagery right now. Writing a great prompt is not about writing code. It's actually a communication skill. You literally need zero coding experience to master this whole thing. But we've all been there. You ask a simple question, hoping for a quick, helpful answer, and boom, you just get back this massive wall of useless, robotic text. It's incredibly frustrating. So we have to ask ourselves, why exactly does this happen? Why are AI responses sometimes just so generic or flat out wrong? Well, the real issue here is actually our mindset. You really need to start thinking of AI like a brilliantly talented but totally clueless intern. This intern is hyper-knowledgeable. They've read almost every book, every article, every website on Earth. But they have absolutely zero common sense. If you just look at them and say, hey, get me coffee, they might literally bring you a raw coffee bean inside a shoe. Because without context, they're just guessing what you want. Let's actually look at this in action. If you hand your clueless intern a super vague prompt like write a report on marketing, you're going to get a messy generalized document back, obviously. But look at the difference when you give them a clear roadmap. Check this out. Write a 2-page summary of email marketing trends for 2026 focused on small coffee shops in a casual tone. See the difference? Just adding a few extra words provides the exact roadmap the AI needs to give you exactly what you're looking for. Moving on to section 2, the perfect prompt recipe. So to get this right, you really just need a recipe. Think of it exactly like baking a cake. If you skip a key ingredient, the whole thing just falls flat. The best, most effective prompts usually contain 4 main ingredients. First up is the role. Who is the AI pretending to be? Second is the task. What do you actually want it to do? Third, we have context. What are the background details it needs to know? And finally, constraints. What are the boundaries or the specific format you need? Now, quick heads up. You don't always need to use all 4 of these every single time. But generally speaking, throwing in more ingredients pretty much guarantees a much better output. Let's watch how this recipe completely transforms a standard, kind of lazy Google search style query into a highly specific command. So instead of a generic, give me a workout plan, we apply our recipe. We give it a role, act as a certified personal trainer specializing in beginners. We give it a task and context, create a weekly dumbbell workout for at home. And then we add our constraints. Keep workouts under 30 minutes and format the output in a clean table. Boom. This leaves absolutely zero room for the AI to guess. And the result? It's going to be 1,000 times better. All right, section 3, core principles of prompting. Rule number 1 is an incredibly powerful little hack. Give the AI a persona. People often call this the act as trick. See, AI models are these massive tangled webs of information. If you just ask a generic question, it pulls from that massive generic pool of data. But by telling the AI to pretend to be someone specific, you instantly force it to filter all of that vast knowledge through one specific lens. Let me give you some examples. If you need some financial advice explained, don't just blindly ask the question. Tell the AI to act as a friendly, patient financial advisor who is explaining things to a teenager. Or, hey, if you need a recipe for tonight, tell it to act as a zero-waste chef who specializes in using leftovers. It's amazing. Giving it a persona like this instantly dials in the exact tone, the right vocabulary, and the perfect perspective for the response you're going to get. Okay, rule number 2, be specific, not short. Now look, We have all been deeply trained to use as few words as possible when searching Google, right? We just type caveman phrases like best travel shoes. But AI is totally different. It is a conversational partner, and it literally thrives on rich conversational details.
So instead of asking a short Google-style question like, how do I fix a leaky faucet, try this approach instead. I have a standard double-handle bathroom sink faucet that is dripping from the spout about once every 2 seconds. I have basic tools like a screwdriver and a wrench, but absolutely no plumbing experience. Can you give me a step-by-step guide to figure out what's wrong and fix it? Guys, taking just an extra 20 seconds to type out those specific details, that's going to save you 20 minutes of filtering through generic, useless plumbing advice that doesn't even apply to your sink. Which brings us to rule number 3, show, don't, just tell. Now, you might hear tech people throw around this scary industry jargon called few-shot prompting, but let's completely demystify that right now. Out here in the real world, it literally just means copying and pasting an example. Seriously, if you want the AI to write a newsletter update for your clothing store, and you want it in a very specific, punchy tone that matches your brand, the absolute easiest thing to do is just paste in a newsletter you wrote last week and say, hey, using this exact same friendly tone, write a new update. It is brilliant, and it's so simple. Part of being specific is also using formatting constraints. One of the absolute coolest things about AI is that it doesn't have to just spit out giant, unreadable walls of text. You can actually command it to organize information for you. Just specify how you want it at the end of your prompt. Ask it to explain things in a single paragraph using a cooking analogy, or tell it to give you exactly 5 bullet points ordered from most to least important, or even command it to write at a 5th grade reading level, avoiding all those annoying corporate buzzwords. These constraints are incredibly powerful commands. And finally, section 4, the iterative conversation. Here is the single biggest mistake people make. They treat AI like a vending machine. You know the drill. They put a prompt in, they get a response they don't absolutely love, and they just walk away, or they start completely over from scratch thinking the tool is broken. Stop doing that. You need to treat it like a back-and-forth conversation with a human colleague. If the answer is only, say, 70% of the way there, don't walk away. Keep working with it. You can talk directly to the AI to mold, refine, and edit the output. Just tell it, hey, that's a good start, but can you make the tone a bit more exciting? Or actually, scratch that. Remove option number 3 entirely and expand on option number 2 with a lot more detail. Or even, great, now rewrite that entire thing but make it short enough to fit into a single tweet. You just keep massaging and refining it until it is absolutely perfect. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this core thesis from our source material. At the end of the day, prompt engineering isn't a math problem, it's a communication skill. It really is. The more clear, vivid, and structured you are with your thoughts, the more magical the AI's response is actually going to be. So the next time you open up your favorite chatbot, I want you to step away from those short, robotic search queries. Take a breath, give your AI a specific job, lay out all the details, and just watch how much smarter it suddenly seems. Which leaves us with one final exciting question for you to ponder. Now that you have this secret formula, what job are you going to give your AI intern next? Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, and happy prompting.